Oh, muted again. However, you can still hear it through all the other microphones. I really haven't done anything. I've made it. I've just ruined it.
It's a moral victory.
Here's Mike's post of the evening.
Oh, please.
Thank you, Mike.
Is it good?
Wow, he redeemed highlight my message for that one. Damn, thank you. Thank you very much, Mike. Oh, God. Welcome back, everyone. We are Not Great RPG, and we are here once again for the city of Oshuamp now on Monday nights. Obviously. We are here for that. So, without further ado, we'll go on the table. No. I wasn't yesterday, and I'm not today.
Really?
It's bad. Yeah, please. We're going to go around the table. Huh?
I'll be there.
Oh. That sounded a lot more sexual than I meant it to.
Whenever you need
I don't remember that song
After
sounding
Friday,
so
I'm
sexy.
feeling away.
Right?
Don, you might need this.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we'll go around the table, introduce ourselves, and then have a brief recap and pick up where we left off last week. Always, I'm Don, and tonight I'll be playing Ether Revia, the Grave Domain Cleric. I'm fine.
Are you?
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future, I'm Lawrence. And I play Yalumlo.
I'm still not used to it.
I've always been Paul. I play Felix Gray.
You're not sure anymore.
Until deemed unworthy, I'll be Glenn, and I play Forrest.
Legend has
The power's
foretold.
in your hand.
Legend has foretold that I am Chelsea, and I will be playing Thariel.
As usual, I'm Sarah, and I'm playing Ritora.
And I'm Nesgrim, and I play DJ.
Try.
Damn, I'm Nesgrim. No, I'm DJ. Damn, the second time.
You dumb.
I don't know where I am.
I'm not fixing it.
That was my fault. I set it up wrong.
DJ isn't real.
I'm
None
not.
of
He
it.
just put it straight up. It works so much better that way.
And I'm John, and I'm looking at literally a line for an area for those deemed unworthy.
I fall just above it.
Just below it? Why do I feel like that's in lieu of, like, a DC check on opening a door?
Oh no, that's specifically for the Hall of Damnation. So
good.
We'll get there
You made it to the
eventually.
hall. Congrats.
Yeah, dude.
Welcome to the Hall of Damnation.
Hall of Damnation Class 2022.
But yeah, I am the Dungeon Master for the city of Oshuamp. Last we left off, we picked up outside of the orphanage, went in swiftly through the chapel, said hello to little orphan Bran as he was inside of the podium on the altar again, paid him some gorgeous coin to keep everybody else out and not let anybody go follow the party down. But after we went through the statue, little orphan Bran was like, yeah, dude, that's cool, like that. We went down through the desecrated cathedral. We saw the enormous stains of blood from Nesgrim's almost corpse. Where he was dragged to safety by Ritora previously. We went back to the statue of Sabrina, into the blood reservoir. Carolyn stepped forward and gave the commanding oath to open, giving us access to an enormous spiral staircase that descended down that we had Sneaky Ether, Sneaky. Go down for his classic patented elongated peak. Recognized that the railings had a suspicious spiky protrusions that he thought were akin to teeth. Safely avoided the fearful traps that could have been present. But Carolyn was like, nah, there's not actually anything. They're just teeth. We went down, took the peek, saw there was nobody inside. Ether came up, collected everybody. We went down, eliminated the room, saw mosaics of 12 individuals on the walls, gloriously painted against the white marble stone. Went to the elevator on the opposite side of the dining table and went down in a singular group. Found ourselves inside of an area called the atrium where there is 6 split paths. We made the decision after conversing with Carolyn briefly that sounds like salvation based upon what we think Thariel is going through. That's probably where she is. Vorse was able to detect the distant odor of fir trees that Carolyn said would remind him of that smell. Finally, after a dozen or so pairs of cell doors, made our way down, opened the, as I called it, meat flap, the dinner area.
That is what you called it. Like a singular meat drape.
Yep. Vorst opened up, said, hey, Thariel, heard a whimper from inside. Said it again, was like, this is weird. She doesn't seem responding. She eventually said, mm-hmm.
So I did what anybody would do.
Kicked the fucking
Normal
door.
standard person.
Anyone.
Vorst kicked the door in.
Dorst.
Dorst.
Maybe try
It's
it
about
before
like
kicking
Jehovah's
it?
Witnesses. Like, is anyone home? No. Kick.
Carolyn and Corin went inside to also subsequently comfort and support Thariel. Brought her out into the hallway. Felix looked into one of the other cell doors, thinking like, maybe we should save some of these people, but gotta check them out first. Saw a scruffy dog-like man on the ground with a scraggy beard and big bushy, scraggy beard and hair, gnawing on a big old femur bone, and Felix was like, Eth here, chose this as the perfect moment to, for the first time, pull out the weird magical trinket that he was given by a dead man and say, I'm going to test this out now.
Given by a dead man.
Opened that man's meat flap and peered on in. through the meat hole with the celestial eye, the patented Ether move. Saw terrifying shadows wrangling around this man as though they were prepared to throttle him. He said, I am no man, I am a beast. And you went, You got up and we were like, we're going to go now. That man threw his entire body weight at the door. And despite being emaciated, was able to break the door off, crash it out into the hallway. Felix went, and threw a torch on him and the door, immediately lighting up the door and the man.
Plywood.
And we were just like, all right, now we really got to fuck off. So we ran back to the atrium, smoke billowing behind us, all the other monstrous people behind their respective cell doors began panicked banging on the doors because don't want to die of smoke suffocation. So we got back to the atrium, all piled onto the elevator, and oh dear, the elevator now is a bit too heavy because it was already fully packed and we just jammed another adult human being on it, and no thank you, not gonna work. We split up into two groups, leaving behind Nesgrim, Felix, Retora, and Vorst on the lower level. Everybody else zoomed on up, stepped out of the elevator, reared up, prepared to take it back down. The group on the lower level, while we were waiting for the elevator, heard in the distance from the Hall of Exaltation, large metal clanging boots and a low whistling. And as the elevator arrived and everybody stepped on and reared to pull the lever to take us back up, we saw Cain the Executioner step out, give us a good old-fashioned sheriff nod, recognizes that we know what's going on down here, and now he knows we know what's going on down here, and
You know that I know that you know that I know.
exactly.
So what you're saying is we shouldn't have left any witnesses.
I mean, the elevator is where we're picking up. Currently ascending, Felix is just thrust a mountain of force at Cain, which rattled off his armor and caused him to smile and say the words, well done. So the last thing you guys see for the second elevator crew is just the height of his head as, his face obviously disappears as your elevator rises and you land safely at the antechamber. With all your other companions there, just kind of chilling, going like, oh, dear God.
I sprint off the elevator.
Yep. Sounds about right.
We have a bit of a problem.
Gotta go.
We can talk on the way.
Yeah.
Now we can go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Is there any way that we can maybe temporarily put this elevator out of service?
No time for that.
Throw a torch on it.
Fire usually works.
You got any more torches?
I'm
What is
up
the
the
elevator
stairs.
made
You're running away.
I'll just and then run.
What is
That was light the torch,
Oh.
throw it, and run.
I thought you were running.
All of that just was like running.
Those are all the same motions.
I need to.
I'm aware.
Can you explain the nuance to me?
Hand up, hand out, light the torch.
Uh-huh.
Both hands up, run.
When is the hey put into it?
That
that's
was
when
the
you
It's you light a torch and then throw a torch onto the platform of the elevator.
It's stone, right?
And yes.
Fine.
Yeah, it was weird as saying fire usually works.
It'll, if anything, it'll make him go, what the hell? And then that'll
Yeah,
be
dude,
plenty.
confusion tactic.
Yeah, exactly.
Big fan. Yeah. I'm assuming everybody is going to run towards the opposite area and ascend the steps. No complications en route. You flee through the antechamber, back up the spiral set of stairs, The statue is still opened, and you are once again into the desecrated cathedral, into the blood reservoir.
Do we see Grimdar anywhere?
No, you do
Thank
not.
God.
He followed his little instructions.
The one instruction.
Only because he thought his dad might be there.
Felix, what is your... Are you proficient or expert in Arcana?
Expert.
Oh, very good. I'm going to tell you that immediately, right off the bat, as you get up and out here as well, you're leading because you're like, I gotta go! Yeah, I will tell you that, you remember that curious black stone you took from the little orphan Grimdar?
Yeah, it's in my bag.
It's in your bag.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that if it's against your hip or your back, wherever this satchel would be, you're going to feel a strange, chilling pulse against your body, almost like a vibration.
Got a text
Take
message.
this from it.
Hello? I'm answer my stone phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna
If they steal it, I swear to God.
Right? One more thing. God damn it.
Hello?
Stone
song.
my minutes. I'm gonna lift it up with my missing hand and just
absolutely.
kind of put it out in front of me.
Yeah. So again, it was about, yay big, which again, just little dwarven palms was sizable. In yours, it would fit roughly into the shape of your palm. I know you're holding it not in your actual flesh hand. It hovers in front of you, and I will tell you that in the way that obsidian, when it is a clean cut, it has that shining, like shimmering, almost glass-like surface. There seems to be at the edges for where points of contact would be, for where it would, like if you're thinking of it topographically, where it's got sides, these points, I'm going to tell you it looks like there's strange cracks in it and thin wisps of black smoke slightly starting to protrude out from it.
I don't recognize this thing, do I?
I will tell you that you guys have not yet ascended. Like, he was legitimately sprinting the fuck away. If he holds it out for like a moment as you guys all complete your ascension.
Does it look like what Adrian did? Like what does it kind of look similar to that?
Ooh.
Because he had a little smoke show before it was a flesh monster, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
yes,
great.
I will tell you it is definitively quite like that.
He didn't like that answer.
I know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
That's
turn.
why that's the answer.
I'm gonna turn and look at Ether. Just gesture towards it.
I will say that everyone else arrives at roughly this moment, and no, you do not recognize this thing.
That does not look good. Why is it smoking?
I don't know. Is it getting like worse, or is it just?
No, it seems like it pulses with a strange irregularity. So like if, obviously it's not going to have the same quantity of the protrusions of like a steam engine where like choo choo, but like
It's pulsing. Okay.
yes, yeah, and the smoke emits. There's not actually a sound made. That's just
Elephant
me
noises.
having a good time.
Okay.
Very excited.
Having a good time. But it does seem like it's if there's say if it's a D20, it does appear like it's happening at all the points, not just like a number of the points, all the points. Yeah.
Perhaps that's a problem we should consider once we're out of here.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you that as Rearda ascends the steps, Rearda's going to look at it and go, oh, that stuff's bad. He's going to reach out towards it.
Nope. I'm gonna pull it away from him a little bit.
You got to eat it before it eats you.
Don't eat it.
No.
What does that mean?
It's going to eat you.
No, it's not.
It's an egg.
It's an.
It's an egg.
Can we cook it?
I don't can you cook fire?
Can you cook fire?
With hotter fire?
With hotter fire? I didn't try that.
We gotta get him back to Arthur's house.
Breakfast?
Yeah.
Good sandwiches.
I think we all have to get back.
That's perfect. Let's keep moving.
Cool. Let's go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna I guess I'll just slowly float this back into my bag, and you know what? I'm gonna put it in the bad bag with the knife.
Okay.
We'll just have a nice little bad bag.
Put those together.
Bad thing.
Yep.
Good.
I'm just gonna swing this satchel around.
So when I put it, because that one's against my
Like,
side.
okay.
So would I still feel it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna take it back down and then wrap it. I'm gonna wrap it in like I got a blanket or something. I have to have one. Yeah, just nice and let's just pack it in there and then put it back in the bag.
All right. Yep. Yeah.
As he's doing that, I'm just gonna grip a little bit tighter to Carol and just keep pulling. We gotta go. We gotta get
Yeah,
out.
absolutely. Corin and Carolyn would rush forward, and
Is there any way to seal this door?
I mean, Carolyn would turn once again and say, "Blessed Mother, I shall do your bidding." And the statue would again begin to rescind.
I assume there are other ways out of there.
Yes.
Problem for a different day.
Lots of problems. They're going to begin ushering Thoriel away. Because safety.
Don't like this place.
Nope.
I'd like to go now.
Yeah, I mean, there are, again, no complications in the desecrated cathedral that we're scurrying through. Back to the other set of stairs, and we would send once more back into the sweet little safe chapel in the orphanage. Little Bran peepers. Still there.
Gonna hand
watching.
him 2 gold.
Just very swiftly, like little fingers just... Thanks, man.
I would deeply advise not going down there.
Yeah, why the fuck would I ever go down there? That place sucks.
If I give you 5 more gold, can you make sure
Yes.
none of the kids
Yes.
ever go down
Yes. Yeah. What did you say? 5 gold. Reaches the other little greedy paw
there?
out.
None of them
Oh, yeah, no kids?
down there.
Okay.
Ever.
Yeah, never.
Ever.
Never, ever.
Gonna hand them to him one at a time.
I like this guy. Yeah. Guys are standing in the chapel.
Follow them.
Quickly.
Yes.
Where the fuck are we going?
Arthur?
Said with the certainty I would expect from this.
Yes,
They're
I think Arthur's.
I think we may want to collect Benjamin.
I'm not sure if we know exactly where he is.
Oh, you got...
Yeah. We could meet at my tent and I could fetch Arthur if we are worried about being tracked.
We have to get Rita back.
Yes.
Presumably he saw me.
Who saw you?
Cain.
You were seen by Cain? Cain
Yes.
was down there?
Yes.
Those were the footsteps walking toward us. Presumably he saw me. I imagine the city watched me for some time after I arrived.
You were assuming he saw you?
No, he definitely...
He definitely saw you. Those things are different.
Yeah, for sure.
That means that he saw all of you?
Yeah.
He made eye contact.
And then
Should
pointed
keep you
at
on.
us.
We should get moving.
Yeah.
Is there like a coat rack or like robes or anything around in the chapel here?
Ooh, robes.
Comfy.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and.
I will tell you that they are white robes with a stitched O on the back.
Yeah, where are those around?
Pull that and put that back.
I'm gonna stash it off the wall and Is it like finely stitched or like?
No,
it's just
no,
stitched
no,
on?
no, no. These look like hand-me-downs, like they had previously been used, probably for decades. So they are very ratty, very old.
I'll just commit some light.
Trees.
Yeah, no, not treason. I'm just gonna tear the O off the back of one of them.
Let's check that code legal!
Oh dear.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I mean,
baby.
it's stitched in. So, would you rip like?
Like, is it stitched enough that it's like I get the feeling like I can pop it with my finger to
No.
get it off, or like I'm really gonna?
You
work
really
at it?
have to rip
Alright,
it.
If I really gotta work at it,
Mm-hmm.
I'll hand it to Theriel. Put this on to cover yourself up.
I'm already in a cloak.
She is.
They already know what you look like, though.
I don't want to wear that.
Oh,
It'll make you a lot less noticeable than a woman walking around in all black.
A woman in white?
I'm just gonna gesture at Yolumlo.
I don't see the problem.
I'm just gonna ask our serial killer. Did they ever look at you?
Not a single time.
Apparently it was only me.
Anna, were you wearing a white robe?
There's a lot of snow on the ground.
I just...
And the O's about mid-back, I would assume?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, and then I'm going to put my
The
shield.
O stands for obvious.
Don't be suspicious.
Oh, right here.
Oh, as I was taking a drink.
Right. Okay, so you put on these robes.
Bless you.
I turn to Carolyn. Can you tell it's me?
I mean,
Who are you?
He gets it.
at this point, I don't think it matters. I think we simply need to go.
We gotta go.
Yes. Quickly.
We just need to decide where.
Away out of this building. I don't want to be here.
We
We
need
could
to get Rita back to Arthur's.
We could split. I could take him back there. If you want to take Theriel here back to Growlers.
Will it be safe to bring her through the usual gates?
I doubt word has spread this quickly.
I don't know what those guards do or don't know.
I think Arthur's is our best shot for now. We'll reassess once we're there.
Is this thing still pulsing?
Mm-hmm.
We need to go to Arthur's. I'm just gonna kind of like grab the bag. Is like the bag cold at this point? Like, is it like ice cold? Is it frosted or? I'll just kind of like knock that off. Like show
Oh
her,
yeah, no,
hey,
that it
yeah.
feels like it's stiffening.
What?
Getting a good old stiffy bag there,
I'm
buddy.
gonna open the bag up then.
Mm-hmm.
What's it look like in there? Knife next to it, and then like blanket packed in.
Well, there used to be a knife next
So
to it.
I'll tell you that, like, the knife. So obviously, for the blade itself, it's bone, and then the lower portion is like hewed out for like a white wooden handle.
Right.
The white wooden handle at the base for where the blade kind of connects for where the tang would go through, that looks like it is starting to snap. Like the wood is kind of starting to break.
I'll take the dagger out then.
We really gotta go.
with my mind. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. And I'm just gonna put it in my bag just back there. Loose.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
No.
I'll just leave this alone.
Good.
Loose.
Yeah. It's fine.
Is the exit like ahead of us?
You guys would be in the chapel. You would know where the exit of the orphanage is.
Watching them do, I grab Carolyn. I just run for the door.
Yeah, Carolyn and Corin, you as you move Carolyn ahead, Corin would just be like, oh dear.
Oh dear.
Ritoria's gonna chase after them.
Mm-hmm.
Pull out her pass.
Mm-hmm.
The Slums East pass that we have, I think it is.
Would you be going back to Arthur's?
Well, we need that to get through to any of the areas, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Slums East would give you passage to West, yes. You are correct.
Dario, take this.
Yeah, small little stone thing. Again, you would be familiar with a pass to get you to a different district of the city.
Someone's going to have to carry me, and I'm going to wild shape into the rat that I was.
I can extend my very long skinny fingers.
Sure.
I'll reach down and.
Yeah, the impulse 100% is there for Corin. He just hears a squeak and you just see his broad shoulders just tense.
He knows me at this point.
Instinct.
Yeah, he literally blames it for causing the downfall of his life and his family, but... Alright, you grab the rat.
I'll pick up Rat Toro. And
Yep.
tuck her into my cloak.
Yeah. I'm guessing we're all going out of the orphanage.
Oh, we're booking it.
Yep, hooks
Okay.
up.
Back to the Slums West Gate. I will tell you that, once again, for the sake of expediting it, Guard is another one that just effectively pays you no mind because y'all are a big fucking group. And while they keep track of big fucking groups, individual Guard cares more about his own individual life. just pulls the lever.
What's that?
Does he have IPS?
That's the real reason he needs you guys to go. My shift has to end.
Come on, you guys gotta go.
Hurry. I gotta go. I was trying to shit around the corner.
No bathrooms on Oshuamp.
Correct. Yeah, you guys make it back into Slums West. So again, are we all going to Arthur's?
I'm going to Arthur's.
I'm going to Arthur's.
I say we should probably split up, take different paths there.
Corin, Carolyn, and Thoriel would start going towards Arthur's.
Me and Rardo will take the long way around.
All right.
I don't know that you were one of the people seen.
Yes, but if they find me, they'll focus on me,
But if
not the whole group.
Yeah. Well, you bite him.
but you will be
Still got that egg.
safer even if you'll be safer even if you are found with us.
Fine, you stay with him.
That's
I've got these two.
that's not what I'm trying to say.
It's okay, I understand.
Yeah.
3 technically.
You're gonna come to the tavern?
I'm gonna shuffle these two along.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to a tavern?
We're going to Arthur's
Arthur?
for sandwiches. But we have to
Arthur's got sandwiches?
we have to go a different way
We gotta go a different way.
than everyone else, yeah.
Okay. Sandwiches.
I guess I'm with Forston.
We're already walking away.
You're just like contemplating, looking up at the overcast sky. Guess I'm. All my friends are gone.
Hood's going up. I'm gonna look at Rardo. Put your hood up. Yours will get cold.
Yeah. Ears.
Yeah.
I have ears.
Yep.
Ears.
Does he not have ears?
Insight check.
You heard him. He said he does have ears.
I'm just
So
gonna put my hood on up.
Mm-hmm.
We need
Yeah.
to shave your head.
For the first Arthur group, you guys are just going straight through the northern side of West Slums, straight as fast as you can to Arthur. Fantastic. Yeah, so I mean, goodbye, you
Yep,
two.
I was just gonna say, do you want to separate?
Yeah.
Alright, that's fine. I left my bottle of water in my cart.
Good. Yeah, no, you guys know the passageway through the West Slums to be able to get back to Arthur's. You are going to pass by the area of the West Slums Gallows and the guardhouse. You would see that it doesn't look like there's any change in the activity. I feel like that would be the most prominent thing that you guys would try to keep an eye out for as you were hurriedly escaping with a convict. But yeah, no, we get back to the glorious grounds of Arthur's mansion and the northwest side of West Slums. Approach the door once more, and I'm guessing somebody's just gonna calmly knock. So
I'll do it.
Corin's there. You're a rat. Corin just smashes on the door. Yeah, and you know, a swift moment passes. I'll tell you, the wind is kind of comparable to today. Pretty blustery. It's very cold for those of you who are capable of feeling cold. For those of you who aren't, it just feels like outside.
Yay!
Yeah, right? Yeah, and a moment would pass and Arthur would open the door and Catherine would be by his side. And he would just look out at all of you. Holy shit, you guys are fucking alive.
Yes.
Never saw that coming.
Felix, perhaps before everyone else can go inside. Before you bring that inside, perhaps we show that to Arthur.
It's getting cold.
Yes.
You alright, buddy?
I'll just pull it out and then unravel it.
Oh. Yeah, I will tell you, it looks as though it is in the same size. It looks like the lines for the segment from point to point, the lines themselves are beginning to like chip and crack. Yeah, Arthur would look at that and be like, I got no idea what the fuck that is, but it looks terrible.
Rita said it is some sort of egg,
Oh,
and that he...
you gonna shoot it?
I'll just keep nodding.
So do I.
Is that the best idea?
I have no idea. No idea what that is. But usually when in doubt, gun.
Has shooting it ever gone wrong?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Temporarily. And then they died. So it wasn't wrong anymore. That's how morality works. He's gonna start walking towards the shed.
Not sure what the anatomy of this thing is, but
Anatomy.
perhaps we should find someone who might be able to analyze it before you shoot it?
Sure. So, gun or no gun?
I just extend my hand out.
Oh, yeah, whatever the fuck that is, probably should hold it. I'm sure that'd be great.
May I?
I'm not gonna move it towards you, but I'm not gonna stop you.
Very long fingers. Just I mean,
Yeah.
Does it do anything to me holding it?
I will tell you that as you take it in your two long little fingers. Yeah, I mean, 100% make a wisdom saving throw.
Could possibly go wrong.
What could go wrong?
This is why I never touch anything.
It's fine.
Is it fine?
Wisdom save?
Yeah.
It's a 26.
Yeah, absolutely. I will tell you that as it contacts your skin, so you feel it immediately almost radiate with like a paralytic, like an anesthesia, kind of like runs through your hands to where it feels as though stretches into your fingers, into the back of your hand, up towards your wrist. I would say a chilling sensation, so comparable to a chilling sensation. Something that would make your hand go numb, and then you would get the overwhelming urge to just snap this thing. As though whatever inside doesn't speak to you, doesn't call to you. It's just this more...
It'd be really satisfying to just, like holding bubble wrap.
Absolutely. It's like, I should burst it, because look at it. Like, look at it.
Yeah.
It's perfect, but it
Hate it.
needs to break. But you resist the urge. I will tell you as well, when the small little black vapors are protruding, again, it's more akin to smoke, less vapor, but I will tell you that black smoke begins to like ever so lightly twirl around the edges of your fingertips at the two that you're holding, so index finger and thumb, kind of like enveloping it, like wreathing around it.
You said it's like obsidian?
Yeah.
If I really, really look at it, do I see anything happening behind the facets of it? Or like...
Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. Dungeons and Dragons is a great game.
It is.
I will tell you that as it pulses, you almost see it rescind back in. So where it expels the smoke, it almost rescinds back in and comes to like a centralized point at the center. So even though it's only yay big, you would be able to tell that there is a smaller, concise point that is the, almost as it rescinds and vibrates, pulsations of what would look like a heart.
Okay.
Oh no, I love Dungeons and Dragons!
My next question was going to be, can I tell if it's alive? But that kind of answered it for me.
It's a good time.
Have I seen anything in my reading or studying of not inanimate objects, but like objects being alive?
Same.
Like whatever this is.
Yeah. I will permit you a history check. For you, either nature or history, whichever score would be better for you. Feels appropriate.
10.
10. Okay.
7.
7. So I mean, I feel like with the 7 I'll resolve first, because it would feel almost to you obviously absurd that an inanimate life form such as a rock or stone or anything like that would have anything inside of it. However, rarely using the word egg indicates to you that this is not simply a stone. So like your thought process would be that you are intelligent enough and understanding the purpose of the embryonic sustenance that an egg provides, that whatever this rock is providing that for whatever it harbors. And you had a 10, you said, right? I will tell you that this is incredibly unnatural. That this is not something that in your fields of study, you would equate this more almost to the sensation of like the sprouting of a seed. So, like, you would understand that obviously things grow, and that this feels more like containment.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So follow up.
Shoot it!
So, yeah, he hands it over. I hold it between my fingers,
Yeah.
and I just kind of like look up and just like, it's alive. It's breathing. It's probably a child.
That doesn't sound good.
Arthur,
Yeah, buddy.
do you remember when you
Nope. Can't remember a thing.
This is a strong start.
when you
First kissed.
Yeah.
You?
Gave me a tour of the things downstairs?
Yeah.
Just missed going down the wrong pipe. I knew it was coming.
So Arthur.
You still almost got me.
Oh yeah, when I showed you my special hole.
Cleared it.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait a second. We got something for this. Well, I think is this?
Yeah, that is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that
No.
no?
I mean, absolutely would, but no. That's a terrible idea.
All right. I just thought maybe some information might be valuable.
But at what cost, Ether? You gotta think about the cost of things. Besides, I already got the gun. He just turns around in the opening of the shed with like a long rifle in his hands.
I get the feeling you just want to shoot it.
Well, yeah. I've never shot anything like that before.
Wouldn't you like to know what it is first?
Ooh, I could shoot the thing that it becomes.
Maybe
If it
we
comes
shouldn't
to
shoot
that.
it. Maybe we shouldn't.
You're right.
What if it wants to be shot?
Conundrum.
And you're gonna feel it tug out of your fingers, like.
Yeah, I mean, if you would resist and attempt to hold it, if you would absolutely attempt to pull, I would say it would be, yeah, I mean, it's an inability check for you, and for you, it would be a strength check.
It's a natural one.
It's an 18.
Okay, well, I don't know what you're rolling against.
For you, it's an intelligence ability check.
Intelligence ability?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, so
jeez.
it's just your int modifier.
Oh, yeah, no, you got it.
Yeah, so I mean, you would try to, like, telekinetically pull at it, and she would just,
Just let it go.
I cannot let you hurt it.
I'm not gonna hurt it.
He has a gun.
I'm not gonna let him.
I do have a gun.
Put the gun down.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I can put the gun away.
Gun away.
It's breathing. Its heart is beating. You cannot hurt it.
It's contained. I'll just extend my hand. I let you see it.
Take your turn. It needs to be protected. It wants to convince you to smash it.
So I won't?
That's a good reason to not shoot it.
I set it in your palm.
No! As soon as you go to do that, I immediately nope, and
Pull
just
hand back.
just with my mind grab it.
Yeah, you go to put it into his palm and magically grabs it from your hand. And y'all are standing here. Arthur's 100% going to walk towards the door, and Corin and Carolyn have stepped inside with Catherine. They're resting. Yeah.
I'm just gonna wrap it back up and put it in the bag by itself.
Yeah, dude.
As an ocean man,
Yeah.
would I have any knowledge about like sea, I mean, because like sea cucumbers and stuff are a thing that like don't appear to be alive but are like alive. Would I have any? Can I roll like a history check or some check to try to determine if I have any knowledge about even tangentially what this might
Ethan,
be?
the marine biologist.
I won't even make you roll.
Okay.
Because
Oh,
I
shit.
think
He is.
your immediate recognition would be more along the lines of the shamans and other individuals that would have created decorative things and would have included pearls.
Okay. 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 Like a weird, horrible clan.
Yeah, it's a bad clan.
That's what he said.
That's what I said.
That is what you said. I heard you.
I did give you the bad clan.
Okay.
God damn it.
No, I know.
This might be a bit of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm pretty familiar with like curses and
Yeah.
things like that.
100% yes.
Would I be able to determine if this is just like a cursed being or like an object that's been cursed? I think I have detect curse as a spell if you like need it.
That would make it a lot easier on me.
Do I have detect curse? I don't know.
Might have remove curse.
Let's just remove curse.
Can't hurt it. It's a living, breathing thing.
I have bestow curse. If it's not curse, can I make it?
Oh dear. I will tell you that you still like have the recognition of the principal nature of what would make something cursed, and I will tell you that this would still appear to you more predominantly like a natural living thing,
Okay.
because of the pulsations of that like central mass at the heart of the stone.
Gotcha.
The bad clan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the other people are inside. Arthur steps inside. Whatever the thing is welcome. No problems. Steps inside.
All right, I'll walk inside with it.
Yep.
Great. I've got another friend.
Uh-huh.
Welcome to the Curse Collection, bud.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean,
I'm gonna wave at the cursed collection.
you're part of it. Yeah, so I mean, you guys find yourself back inside of Arthur's. I don't know what you guys want to do. I mean, Catherine and Corin would be, seated inside the large dining area. Like, not that they're hungry, but that they know that this is where you guys usually convene. And it's not like they're going to run back up to their room. So they would be sitting here waiting for you guys.
I'm gonna conclude my wild shape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you still floating it along?
No, it's in
No,
my
it's in his
bag.
bag.
I was gonna look at him with the eye.
I'm not saying you can't. Just because it's in a bag doesn't mean it's impossible.
I'm gonna look at the bag
Yeah.
with the eye.
Okay. Yeah. Hold your peeper amulet up. Nothing strange about the bag.
Okay.
Just looks like a little bag. Burlap or leather, whatever it might be comprised of.
Felix, can you lift it out of the bag again?
Sure.
You would see him holding the amulet.
Yeah. Dude. Sure. I'll just lift it out of the bag, unwrap it from the blanket again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody else get the fuck out.
Oh, I should have pulled out the dagger.
Dude, you love doing this.
He does.
I know.
It's his favorite.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't wait for what he tells you about Felix, since Felix is right behind him.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, first off, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
With
okay.
disadvantage.
Oh, God.
Yep. You're looking at its true nature.
12.
12. Cool. Great. Yeah, so you would immediately, as you pull the amulet up over it, now again, it's hovering out of Felix's hand. You would see, as you pull the amulet up, you don't see the gem portion. You just see, hovering in Felix's palm, a couple inches or so above it, anatomically, what we would recognize as a heart, however, significantly larger than like a human heart, more comparable to the size of like a cow heart.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, where obviously cows have more hearts, but just in terms of like sized for comparison. You would see that as it, instead of having the coloration for what a human heart would have for a living, breathing thing, this heart is like jet black with gradient gray throughout the minor portions of the flesh, and then black veins protruding through, and whenever it pulses, the ventricles are what release the smoke into the surrounding air around it. And I will tell you that as it releases, it sounds more to you like a deep, gasping breath. And that the smoke doesn't just disperse. It looks like it's collecting in a small area above the heart itself. So when you pull this thing up fully to look at the entirety of it, you see like the bottom of the smoke, and then as you see the smoke in its entirety, I will tell you that it absolutely is a pulled back face with a long angular chin and great horns that rise and then spoke outwards. You see these long, what would look almost triangular shape, empty sockets for where eye holes would be, and what would be the bridge of a nose would be flat and almost serpentine with just great slits in it. And as you fail the wisdom saving throw, I will tell you that this thing, with it having like a long, angular, pointed jaw, opens wide, a gaping, hollow, vacuous mouth. And yeah, you feel this irresistible urge to break the gem. And I'm going to call them back because they don't know that.
Yep.
But you do. I want your soul.
Did we assume correctly?
Is Ether frozen?
No, he's not frozen.
He's in the stone.
You just see Ether hold aloft this, celestial eye and stare at the gem hovering above your hand, and his mouth slacks. Goes like...
He's here?
I'm gonna dive at it.
Yeah.
Dex check save,
Yeah, so I mean,
because I can move it up like 30 feet.
No, absolutely. I will say that you wouldn't have been that far away. You would probably be within like 5-ish feet of him while you're looking at it. So yeah, no, it's absolutely just going to be heads up dex checks.
All right.
Damn my dexterous ways.
I know.
Okay. That's actually really bad. 7.
14.
Yeah. So like you elevated up, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like Ether just drops the amulet and like leaps at you at the stone in particular. You recognize and you ascend it, hold it aloft like 10-ish feet above the air, and you would land absolutely like on all fours on the ground.
Am I still like...
No.
Okay.
No, you're good now.
Okay.
Ether.
What did you see?
I'm gonna first just pick up the amulet, put it back around my neck.
When will you learn your lesson?
First things first.
Let me get my precious.
You gotta carry that weight.
The smoke is not dispersing. It is forming into a shadowy face with horns. And inside of that stone is a large grayish black veined heart. And it sounds as if it is breathing, squeezing the breath from its lungs to produce this smoke.
I don't think we should keep that thing.
No, we obviously shouldn't keep it.
But we can't break it.
That.
It wanted me to break it. I felt the urge to smash it.
Is that what that was?
Yes.
Well, don't do that.
I will not look at it again.
I mean, it's trapped. That
For
seems
now.
cruel.
Yes, but it is forming some sort of shadowy smoke body or something.
Can you describe it?
Very long face that descends to a point. Yeah, I know what it is.
I know. Love it, dude.
Horns.
I always wanted to be a Pokemon trainer. Dragon, of course.
Yeah.
Kind of snake-like features.
Oh, that's worse. I don't like that now. I'm just gonna slowly back into the bag, wrap it in a blanket.
Creature of some sort.
Yes.
Could you recognize its age?
I do not have anything to compare it to.
Ether?
Yes.
Does that work on non-living?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Float the
Chair?
dagger out of my bag.
I will tell you, you should know it doesn't work on non-living. You looked at the
Oh,
bag.
sure.
Like,
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can still 100% pull out the dagger.
It.
I want to get him again.
Run it back.
Fall for it again!
When I looked at the bag prior, nothing happened until you took it out.
So I'll float the dagger. Because it wasn't it was in a different bag. It was another bag.
What exactly does it do?
Reveals its true nature, whatever you are looking at, I think.
I'll lift it a little bit higher so that way you can't lunge in it.
Oh, wait.
like a solid 10 feet up.
Yep.
If
gonna-
you don't
Up to
want to,
you.
I will.
No, I'm gonna reach into my bag and pull out a candle,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna light it, and I'm gonna put it on the ground, and I'm gonna sit on the ground, cross-legged, and look up at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that way I can't leap like a frog.
I mean,
I mean, if that's the ability you've given me.
Yeah. So you light a candle, sit on the ground in front. Felix holds aloft this lake-born dagger. You sit, pull the amulet, and give it a good old peep. No.
Yes!
No. I mean, obviously you guys aren't going to, in character, the description, but I know he'll relay it immediately anyway. You see that as it is held aloft, as I have described it, it looks to you like the femur bone of an orc. When he holds it aloft, you have the blade not down.
No, not down. It's like I'm giving it a nice spin. You know?
like it's on QVC.
Like it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, you giving it a spin is actually great
Today,
because
for-
it lets me portray it better. As
Mexicali
it
and
spins, you see almost this enveloping, pustulant green ooze dripping from it. And as Felix twists and turns it and gives it whee, if you're looking at a 3D, program, as it twists and turns, it almost looks like it is too naturally curved and bent to where it no longer looks to you like it would be a femur bone. It would look to you like it is a long fang.
Yeah, I will.
Just dripping, terrifying, limeish green liquid.
I will convey exactly that.
It's a thorn, right?
Yes. It appears to be some sort of fang or tooth.
I thought it was called a thorn.
It is.
Not unlike the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like the stairs.
I'm trying to is there anything else in my possession that I need to know is mega fucked?
I don't know, man.
Nothing else.
You yourself.
I'm not.
If only we'd
I
taken
am one of the
first
few
dildo.
people here
You're
not
assuming-
If
cursed.
only you had taken the cursed dildo. Would have been a hell of a time.
I'm probably fine. All right.
I am not certain who we should ask about this, but I think when our friends return, we should first, I suppose, speak with you about what happened there and let you reunite with your friends. but we should deal with this thing rather quickly.
Rita did seem to know something about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he here?
How the hell did I get here? Oh, goodbye.
What the fuck?
He slither
I'm
away.
gonna look to Arthur. Did you have like an extra pouch? Like an extra, little bag?
For my sidekick, anything.
I'm just gonna give him a thumbs up.
No problem. What do you want it made out of, buddy?
The dealer's choice?
Ooh, I like that. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go down to my special. One that Ether saw. You know what I mean, buddy?
Yes.
Hello, time down there.
Yes.
You only get invited once.
I
Are you really
understand.
rubbing it in my face? Did you invite me?
Oh, you're gonna get in soon. Don't you worry, sidekick. Yeah, and Arthur would disappear away. Leave the room.
Rearder's not here.
No,
Okay.
no, I was kidding.
I can't remember in character. Do we know that he saw a face in the wall?
He 100% told you guys
Okay,
that.
sure.
Yes.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring that up when he gets back.
Yeah. I'll just call the office.
Okay.
Because I messaged them to ask if they wanted a scene or if they just wanted to return.
Yeah, it's gonna let it in here.
We need like an intercom system.
Hello.
He's on our own stage,
The
right?
principal's office.
I had messaged you. Did you guys want a scene or do you guys want to have just effectively gone out of your way intentionally to avoid suspicion and then return 10-15 minutes
Just
later?
went the long way around, just to split it up,
Yeah.
just to make it less obvious.
If nothing happened, then yeah, both just
Yeah,
go
no.
there.
Nothing
No
would have.
news is good news in Oshuamp.
Correct. Effectively. Yeah, so door would open and blistery winds would kick in and then standing tall in the doorway. Beautiful figure of Rear.
Wind blowing.
Sandwiches.
Does he shake when he gets in?
Oh yeah, 100%. He steps in, just rips the cloak off of him. I hate that thing.
Does he float through the door sniffing the air?
Mhm. Yeah, he's like roast beef. Right into the dining area, right next to Ether, and just looks at you, looks at the plate of sandwiches a foot away from you. Who's yours?
No. Rearder.
Just mouthful of roast beef slices all over his cheeks and nose, out of his scraggly beard.
Do you remember when you saw that face in the wall of
Smoke
the city?
guy.
Yes. Could you describe what that looked like?
The smoke man.
Yes.
Yeah, it was more like a devil than a man, now that I think about it.
Horns.
Yeah, he got horns,
Long pointed face.
long pointy face, big, wide, triangle-like eyes.
It is
weird,
that.
no
Not
nose
nose?
thing. Yeah, not nose. Yeah, I didn't like it. Huh?
That is what is in this stone.
Oh, it's in the wall.
Yes, in the wall.
Yes, in the wall.
And in the little rock.
They're made
Yes.
of the same materials.
Yeah.
Do you think that stone is a piece of the wall?
It's the same color, right? Isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Probably.
That's probably
I
not
could
good.
make a sandwich out of the city. Oh my god, that'd be the biggest sandwich ever.
You have big dreams, Ruda.
Oh, what if that's what they're doing, dude?
Yeah, let's keep track
That's
of the people that
fucked.
want to eat people and things. Yeah.
We're trying to make a big people sandwich.
Big sandwich ready.
Rearder.
I like how much that actually alarmed you.
It makes too much sense.
Yeah, there's times that John says things that it's okay.
Well, because he does it as
you're
weird.
joking, but
That's how he gives us
I
information.
know that
is he
you're
feeds us
saying.
little things that sound stupid, but
Welcome
they're
to the
not
shit
stupid.
list.
I'm gonna make a
Corn.
people sandwich.
Has this devil smoke man, have you spoken to him? Have you seen him in person or just...
No, I only saw his face in the walls. It was kind of seeping through
He did speak to you, though, right?
Yeah. He said spooky words.
Yes.
Like?
Oh, God. I gotta look that up as John.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I have it written down. Open the Empire's gate below the gallows by flow of blood, by glowing jewel of fire, by call of hoof and horn, by smoking mystic heart.
I don't think you guys should say
Herald
that.
all there below.
I don't think you said it.
Raise the bridge down. Carve the ritual symbols onto flesh. Summon the buried lord's home.
I'd like to change my class to paladin.
Please. I just need
Not a
divine
fake one, a real paladin.
This campaign needs Jesus.
I know you read it off a screen, but I like to imagine that he started reading it, it came back into your brain, and you began chanting it.
Yep, pretty much.
Some real Kali Ma vibes there.
Yeah. So that's what he said. That's what Rita would say.
I'm gonna
Does
be
he
honest.
chant it like a madman?
Yeah, 100%. Because that's kind of how he heard it.
He's just repeating the sounds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kalati Borandor.
I was gonna say, I'll speak it in orc if you want.
No, thank you.
Speak orc and enter.
For the sake of comprehension, can you read it in a way that isn't chanting?
Open the Empire's gate below the gallows by flow of blood, by glowing jewel of fire, by call of hoof and horn, by smoking mystic heart. Herald all there below. Thralls of 9 raise the bridge to hell. Carve the ritual symbols unto flesh. Summon the buried lords home.
We just did like 6 out of 8 of those things.
I know, dude, right?
Did, like,
And I said that like 6 months ago.
hey, this was just a rock. Fuck off.
So,
I'm more upset that you didn't remember it.
Right? Dude, literally, Grimdar said, I sat on a statue and I wished for a rock, and the statue went, you got it, dude, here you go.
I had a
Grimdar.
typo.
Let him keep it.
I had a typo in mine, and instead of writing bridge, I wrote bride, and I don't know what's worse.
9 raise the bride to hell.
There you go. Hello.
Hi!
We
I'm
said
your new friend, everyone.
9.
Rita, you said that they had you eat this sort of thing.
Yeah. Back in the Citadel.
What exactly happened after eating?
Spiky arms.
That is how you
Horn
became
face.
as you are.
Mm-hmm. Got any more of those eggs? Weirdest flavor to them.
So, Rirda doesn't speak
Tastes like
Orcish.
devil.
He's working on it. But he did say that he remembers the words hoof and horn.
Such a good joke, Don.
I don't think we should let Rita or anyone else eat this.
No. I don't think it's wise for him to leave Arthur's anytime soon.
What exactly happens if someone does not consume this sort of thing?
Mm-hmm. They only brought me the ones they said were ready to eat.
Who is they?
The orcs in the Black Citadel.
They had you as a prisoner,
Yeah.
and they forced you to eat these.
Yeah.
I think we should release them.
Release.
The creature in the stone.
Why would you think that?
No.
So,
Eat them in smaller bits.
Oh, hello. I'm sorry. We haven't met. I'm not a scrim.
I guess we haven't introduced
yeah, okay.
You're single, right?
I have this ring with a diamond on it.
What's up?
You want to be locked in a different room for a couple hours?
Above the tables.
I'm known for crying in basements.
Hello.
The ladies can't
Back to
resist.
basics.
Yes. No, we definitely should not. We've had enough. Do you want to? We've had enough. Shadow.
We've had enough.
No, I'm just gonna look at you and shake my head. No.
Exactly what needed to be said.
Well, if you think about it.
Right.
Weirdo, was it?
Yeah. I'm the devil dog man.
Good.
He's a
I
good
really
one.
want to eat more devils.
Stop with the egg jokes.
Devil eggs! Thank you. Right? How good is that?
Devil eggs.
Yeah.
So we have a creature,
Right.
a living being, trapped in a containment.
Well, we don't know that it's living.
We know it's living. It's
Rearder raises his hand. Those things don't live. They eat life.
They unlive.
Yeah. That's kind of actually what they said.
Also, you didn't seem to have a problem leaving others trapped.
I
Change of heart?
was trying to look out for myself. Unfortunately, I could not go back to save them if I was dead.
Lingering and
Just gonna give you a look like, when? When you wanna go?
oh shit, Felix.
We got a courtyard.
Lingering and
My-
peering under that door didn't exactly pan out well.
He should probably stop using that thing.
I'll go for 3.
Just out of curiosity, what did you see through that?
Through on which occurrence?
Yes.
Yeah, they weren't there
Oh,
for the last two.
that's right. Well,
What the fuck?
in
Oh, yeah.
You used it again?
yes, underground, I saw.
Wait, you've used it 2 more times? You saved the room for 5
You're
minutes?
getting schooled by Nesgrim, dude.
Since the
object
underground.
that was
Yes.
given to you by a dead man in a dream. You said it's there. Let's go.
I ferried a soul across. He gave me a present. What do you want?
Do they often tip the
It would have been
ferryman?
rude not to use the
Yeah.
gift.
Thank you, Satan Claus.
So what did you see through your devil eye?
Celestial eye.
Celestial.
Sir.
That's what I said.
Sir.
Through the door, I saw that man being strangled and wreathed in shadowy tendrils.
Okay.
And then on the stone, a grayish black heart with black veins that was coughing smoke and forming into the same shape as the demon that Rirda saw in the wall.
Here comes number 3.
And on the thorn dagger,
You know the one.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
You remember the dagger.
Yeah.
It's right up there. It's actually floating above us. I'm still displaying it.
it looks more like a fang of some sort, dripping green, poisonous ooze.
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
No one touch the stone.
No chance of that.
It will cause you to want to break it and release whatever is inside.
Okay.
As it did.
Precisely why we shouldn't break it.
Because it wants to be released.
Did she touch it?
Yes.
I think
You're done.
that
We found the betrayer.
Wait,
a poor soul
Therial touched it?
Yes.
has been trapped in a cage, so to speak. We do not know if it is good or evil.
It is evil.
It's trapped in a stone. I don't think it's all that great.
Hang
I'm
on.
gonna look. Who? I'm
I
sorry,
was trapped in a stone cage. What is that supposed to
Not a
be?
cage, like an actual stone, though.
Both would be with.
No, who went with us?
Oh, Carolyn was
Carolyn.
Sorry,
I would
yes.
look. I would look at Carolyn. Well, was she involved in politics? With these spins?
Well,
I'm getting dizzy from all
when you
these
need to
spins.
try to settle disputes between children, it can feel political at times. Yes, you
I
have
believe
to.
that.
Yeah,
Perhaps she could learn a thing or two from Ritora and Nesgrim about performing the activities that one is requested to.
It's not recommended.
Divine sense.
It
Yeah.
hasn't gone well for us.
for
Poor.
her.
For
Pull off
the
my
stone.
glove and
Oh,
there's...
good.
And also
No.
her, I guess, because she would be there too.
The stone. Yeah, you would absolutely detect fiend from within the stone.
Yeah, no, it's definitely evil. I don't recommend it.
Inspector Nesgrim on the case.
You don't get evil vibes from it.
You should have a hunch.
You don't get evil vibes from that, dude.
It's leaking black smoke, and it's not like normal black smoke. It's like
My
thick,
bag is like frozen at this point.
I don't break that.
We need to do something with it.
Like visibly frozen?
We could
It's
take it back to
freezing.
Salfar then.
Oh, okay.
Cast it into the fire.
I could eat it.
That's a bad idea.
I ate like a dozen. I'm fine.
I think if we like
One more wouldn't
That like
hurt.
kind of starts to convince me like maybe it'll be alright.
One more wouldn't
John,
hurt.
don't look at me and say I ate 12. The 13th won't be bad.
It's a
Baker's dozen. It's a baker's dozen.
Exactly. Like I'm just a little chef man.
I stand my ground that I do not think anything is inherently evil, regardless of whatever it is you're
Perhaps
doing.
not inherently evil, but immediately dangerous might be a more.
before we make
fitting
any hasty
description.
decisions, why don't we just wait on it? We can take it and wrap it up and put it in a box, and then put that box in another box, and put it in another box, and then bury it somewhere in the consecrated ground.
It's not a soul.
Yeah, and I don't think putting it anywhere consecrated is a good idea.
Well, the consecration wouldn't it keep it in? It's been keeping Rita in check.
Or alternatively, it would desecrate the consecrated ground.
But what if the consecration is stronger than desecration, so it reconsecrates the desecration?
Now we're just
Yeah, we could
escalating.
just try. Fuck around, find out. I'm about that life.
We'll wait on it though.
Oh.
Now we're just
If I could make a
escalating.
recommendation, if we're looking for consecrated ground to do this, can we just take the gallows off the table?
I think those would be desecrated.
I'm not convinced we should wait to find out.
I don't know if we can stay here for this conversation. We're going in circles,
That's fair.
It is a bit frustrating.
and
Arthur
we
just walks back
are.
with the bag. Here
Thank
you go, buddy.
goodness. I'm just
Nice.
immediately just.
Silk.
I think we have a more.
What a lovely sensation.
I'll put the dagger in the bag and then float the bag over to me.
I had to take the other belongings out, but now you can use that bag.
Arthur, any ideas on what we should do with that?
Arthur wanted to shoot.
Does it have an odor as I pull it towards me?
Bag of consummation.
It's a consummated ground, right?
No. No, he knows prestidigitation, dude.
God damn it!
Actual pain.
Yeah, dude. Clean as a whistle.
Great. Like, what is it? Like, it's just how big is it?
No, it's more vertical shaped.
It's perfect for a dagger.
Yeah, my dagger.
What color is it?
It's a nice, like, Prince purple.
Yep.
Yep. A little gold threading around the handle. Excuse me. Don't worry. I can store it in the...
Wait, did he go down in the basement and get it?
Yep.
No! Alright, whatever. You know what? Frozen orb on this side, cursed dildo dagger on this side.
Yep. That's why you should have brought the cursed dildo home.
Now I'm
you
cursed.
needed to reunite the two objects.
Before we go back.
Yeah, well, you have to go back
Turns
and
into a
forward.
lightsaber of light or some bullshit? Sure.
Love.
Yeah.
Can I ask you to do me a favor?
Felix's love powers.
Yes,
That's it.
Can you look at me through your celestial eye?
I planned to do that anyway, so yes.
Go ahead.
Really?
As he lifts it up into his mind, I'm gonna go, boom.
Yeah, you hear Felix's voice say boo, and I will tell you that as you elevate it and look at Nesgrim, the way that the kaleidoscope funnels does not funnel.
Oh,
As though it has been used 3 times.
that makes sense.
Yes.
Tomorrow, perhaps.
Okay. You need me to cry? Maybe that'll help.
I do not think so, especially with the smoke here.
I start
that is
nodding.
advisable.
Weird is just covered in roast beef. Just it's better that way.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
How's your roast beef?
Oh, it's so good.
Anyway, back to our devil stone.
To Ritora's point.
We have to go.
Where are we going?
I think you have to stay here, unfortunately.
Okay. He 100% nods off in the chair immediately. Just like a little strand of roast beef hanging out of his mouth.
Where exactly do you think we should go?
I do not know.
Arthur, they were seen by Cain.
The what?
And I'll point at the 4.
The child killer.
Mm-hmm.
They were seen by him on our way out.
Okay.
Yes, and that is why Ritora brings up that we should probably leave.
Yes.
Where should we go? We do not wish to bring trouble to your home.
Bit too late for that. Ether. I just got them back.
I know.
Well. He absolutely reaches into his pouch and pulls out a big key. No reason for you all to go. The Heartwood Mansion is yours.
We can't do
Arthur,
that.
this is yours.
It was. But I'm sure you'll all take good care of it. Besides, with Catherine and Benny and I going on a trip, it seems. And no William here to look after it. Can't really call it a Heartwood Mansion anymore, can I? What?
Where are you going?
Oh, we'll gather the horses and we'll go out for a lovely pilgrimage or something out into the woods and, just rest and stay away from the city for a bit.
May not be a bad idea.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you all can fight and I gotta protect my kids, so yeah. That is going to be my priority.
Understandable.
Do you imagine that he would know our association with the guild?
Probably less likely. You guys haven't gone outside with them anywhere, right? You haven't, done what we did, roughing up and shooting things.
No.
No.
You guys have been patrons of shops.
Right.
As long as you maintain that. And you were always hidden in the basement, so not like anybody really knew you were employed there either.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would recommend obviously not frequenting that place too often, but obviously if you have a need, just make it look like business as usual.
Lay low.
Yes.
Maybe disguise ourselves.
Yes. Oh.
Arthur, could you not hide with the others?
No. Neither Catherine nor I would be able to go inside. Hallowed ground, buddy.
Yes.
Not really a hiding place for us. No worries. And he pats you on the shoulder. What about the hardwood? I can't die.
That I know to be true.
Yeah. Well, I'll pack a suitcase and get my guns.
We have friends in the forest that
Oh.
might be of some help.
Well, that would be wonderful. Sure, Benny could use a little playmate. Do they have any children?
Kind of.
One of them's kind of like a
Yes.
child.
He's not little.
They're
Oh.
a bit odd.
Okay.
Quite old.
So are you. So, no judgment.
In my opinion, they're worse.
Dear God.
Whatever that's worth.
No wonder they're in the woods.
The two are very old, and one is very large.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure if you all liked them, that we'll get along. No problems. Where do they live?
There's a lake.
A lake?
And they
Fisher's
don't-
Depths?
No.
Further.
I'll describe how to get there.
Sure.
I've gone out there a lot.
Yay.
I think would be able to
I
point them to
I will
landmarks.
permit you a history check with advantage for sure to give him in this moment.
The advantage is because lakes don't move.
14.
Yeah. I mean, you would not be able to point him, obviously, on a singular road, but you would be able to tell him, like, hey, it's approximately a day to a day and a half deep into the Fellwood. As soon as you find, like, a clearing with a little lake, you know that there's going to be a cottage nearby, and you know that they frequent the lake anyway. So,
And
I mean...
don't get in the lake.
Don't go in the lake.
Oh, fuck swimming. Terrible things in the water. And it goes deep.
And it's cold.
And it's cold.
I think the other thing is the bigger
I
problem.
hate all those things.
Yes. They are druids. They are very likely to be animals when you arrive.
Are you sure these aren't animals that can become people?
No.
They look like me.
Oh, dear. They look like you?
Yes.
Are they your parents?
No.
Damn. No. Well, good try.
I don't know how to...
They have names?
Melithel and Melicy?
Oh, those are pretty names. Good.
That's what they go by.
Okay. Very good. Wow.
Or baby.
They have a baby?
No, like
No.
this. But baby!
Baby?
Oh.
Yes.
They do have Edelstone.
If you say baby like that, that will probably help them.
Oh.
A little bit higher pitched. And
Baby,
more,
but higher pitched.
more confused.
Oh. Baby.
Baby?
Baby. There you go. All right.
Pretty close.
Thank you.
And you can tell them that we sent you.
All right. I'll do just that. Well, that key doesn't work for the secret basement, so don't go in there, because it'll kill you.
Yes.
All of you.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm going to insight check him.
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, no. 15.
15. He sounds playfully sincere with, like, a sense of earnest warning of, like, hey, yeah, like, it's kind of funny, but, like, legitimately, there's some shit down there that's probably not good to see.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
You never go in a man's secret basement without his permission.
Mm-hmm.
He basically gave me permission earlier.
Mm-hmm. He is my sidekick.
I mean, they were given permission before, and it
Before you
didn't turn
go?
out well.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
Where might I find a pair of, like, large scissors?
Like comically sized?
Oh,
What do you need?
Cutting ribbons?
Scissors?
What do you have need for scissors?
To cut my hair.
You need to cut your hair?
It's very recognizable.
Hmm.
And I was just seen by an executioner.
Oh, that's a good point.
So
You
it's
know a
probably
way
best
to
my
change
head
it.
is not identifiable since he has a penchant for collecting them, it seems.
Yeah, for sure. My brother's a piece of shit. Yeah, no problem. I'm sure Catherine has a pair up in her room. We'll grab those for you before we leave.
It's appreciated.
No problem.
I can cut your hair, Nesgrim. We do
Thank you.
not need the scissors.
Oh,
Thank you.
All right.
Just shear it off.
You might
Sure.
also consider changing your hair
Don't do
color.
that, don't you?
I don't know how I would go about doing that.
I don't know either.
I suppose I could always just dump some ash from the fireplace on my head.
I can crush some berries and we can make it blue.
Perhaps not that.
I have
Okay.
a dagger you can use to cut it.
First hair.
I had prestidigitation, just thaumaturgy, just yell at his hair.
Yeah, no, Arthur and Catherine would then, leave the dining hall and walk together up towards or out into the entryway, and then you would see them ascend stairs together. And it's you guys, Sleepy Rearda in his chair, and Cord and Carolyn standing here.
Did he say he was his brother?
Cain.
Yes.
That's what I heard. Cain's his brother?
Yes.
Mr. Hartwood is nothing like his brother. I can assure you that.
They ascended the stairs, presumably to leave.
To
right?
go to pack their bags.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
And also get Benjamin.
No, they're gonna leave him with us.
Oh my god.
You're a monster.
You got seen, I got seen. Vorst and
Felix.
Felix and
Oh, and Felix.
Yeah.
So easy to take out.
That's why I want to
The
cut my
most
hair.
it's
distinguishable.
not a bad idea.
I mean, my cage was left open, so.
I don't know how Felix is going to change the color of his skin, though.
Just gonna stare at you.
I could paint myself green. Then there will be two. It may confuse them.
We could just start painting a bunch of random people around the city green.
I feel like you should just hang.
Arthur, one last job!
I need green paint bombs.
One of those people.
Come here, vagrants.
Tonight we fly!
We're going to paint the city green.
Start handing bombs cash to hand green.
Cash for green.
Where's Barry?
Where is Barry?
Oh boy.
Cash for green.
Why is that so worrying?
Because don't you
Barry
he's
is
made
Barry?
Barry
Yeah.
a bad guy.
I know.
For no reason.
Barry's a good
Barry
dude.
wasn't even supposed to exist.
He was
We
fat.
willed him into existence and
He
then
was
gave him
fooling
to
me.
John.
Well, anyway, yeah, I think I should cut my hair.
I'll probably do the same. It'll stay white, but
Mine will also stay white.
I could cut my hair, but it wouldn't do much for my face.
Me either.
You'd be surprised what bangs can do.
I don't think I'm there in my crisis yet, Nesgrim.
Compliments there, buddy. That's rude.
Maybe at like 3 a.m.
Y'all are
Forced to
standing here.
a bowl cut.
Does anyone have any ideas on how to change my hair color?
Rather than change your appearance, why not just mask
Just
it?
shave all of it.
Just wear a hat.
Just all of it.
I could wear a hat.
You could wear a
Have a
hat.
cap of water breathing.
Were you not wearing the
Is it a sombrero?
Were you wearing your
I picture it's like a shower cap.
like a bonnet?
I don't think my hood would have been up.
Okay.
No. Because I would have wanted peripheral.
Does Rearda
So
look
weird, but he's wearing a bonnet.
bigger?
Bigger?
Yeah.
I mean,
Biblically.
bulkier.
I mean, I would not say
Full of roast beef.
noticeably. No,
Okay.
you guys were not outside of the consecrated ground of Arthur's mansion for long.
Okay. Very good.
But he's not as gaunt, right?
I mean, he's been eating for 6 days straight. Like, non-stop.
That's not what I'm worried about.
So is he like, but he's not like more shredded? Are you sure?
I mean, he's definitely a little more shredded. Like, he has, like, bulky, like, growing. Like, he definitely looks, like, taut and toned.
Like he's been hitting gym.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Like he's not
definitively
malnourished
different
anymore?
than when we found him.
yes,
Okay.
100%, because he was an emaciated mess.
Right.
Now he looks shredded and ready.
Strong.
Like he's eaten about a week's worth of eggs.
Summer body's right around the corner.
Shredded wheat.
Shredded
True.
wheat.
What do we do now?
Oh, hello, I'm Thariel.
Oh, hello. I'm
I guess we
Nesgrim.
should probably introduce ourselves.
Yes, I appreciate your endeavors to save me. I was going through it. It was
Is that what we're calling it?
it was something.
My name is Ether Ravia.
The grave dipping.
I'm always done. I'll be fine.
As always.
Yalumlo.
Felix.
I'm Ritora. You met Nesgrim.
Hello.
Oh,
You can call me Dragon. I'm Forrest. You know Rita.
Release me.
And then this is Corin and Caroline.
Says it.
oh, I'm familiar with Corin and Caroline. Very familiar.
How so? We're
We're very close friends.
as are we.
She worked at the orphanage with me.
Of course.
When was that?
Working at the orphanage.
Yes.
12, 15 years ago? Sometime. It's been a long time since we've seen her.
Visibly doing math in my head.
Help.
Why
Yeah, I
was
wasn't here.
why were you being held there?
Out there.
Are you a prisoner?
I worked there.
No, not at the orphanage where we found you.
I was an orphan!
I'm a prison guard. You're all under arrest.
chest. None of you asked if I was a cop.
Right. I would have had to tell you if you did.
Are you a guard? You have to.
You
tell
legally
us.
have to tell me. Oh man. Well, I had some friends that turned out to not be very friendly at all. And when I decided I no longer wished to
Be their
be
friend.
friendly with said friends, they were not too thrilled about it.
Did you fight him?
They captured me.
I can promise you that you're in good company here.
Did you put up a fight?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
It's difficult to put up a fight when you are the only person fighting against a decent amount of very strong individuals.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that.
Take my word for it, it's bad.
Orc horde.
What is he saying?
Orc horde.
All right, that's it. Can I do a check on hypnotizing? Do I know anything about Okay, good.
He's
good,
a sleeper
good.
cell.
Is this history? Yeah.
Yeah, history for you.
Oh, geez. 15.
Yeah, no, you would be familiar with the idea of magical hypnosis, actually.
Okay, I'm just going to try it into his mind while he's dreaming.
Yeah.
No more food. Stop eating. Stay small.
Just like roast meat spews out of his mouth onto the ground.
No egg eating. No more eggs. No devils. Good boy. You're a good boy. Strong. Good boy. Strong.
He starts whimpering like a puppy.
You're good. You're good. You're good. Be good. Just be good.
I'm a good boy.
Good boy. Good boy. No more talking to walls. I'm just gonna like keep saying like random shit.
Talk to the walls.
No, don't talk to the walls.
Oh, no, don't.
The walls, my friend.
Talk to the wall.
Let them out.
So,
Let them in.
No
All of them.
No wall sandwiches. No.
Okay.
Dario, what made you decide to separate from your friends?
I thought I knew this friend very well. Turns out I didn't.
What was your friend's name?
I just looked at Caroline.
I think it is best to tell them.
You are in safe company here.
Also, if there's going to be anyone in the city who will offer you any sense of protection or comfort, it is these people. They have done all that they can for Corin and I and Maribel.
I'll do my best.
We're pretty much accomplices at this point.
Yeah, Thariel just like visibly shudders and just. Her name was Isabel.
Okay.
The head of the orphanage.
And you were there about 12, 15 years ago, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That lines up with some other timeline. I just can't remember which one.
That lines up with everything I would expect from you.
Like, I know that time frame is important and
Yes.
it correlates to something.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot remember what.
Many.
Was that when
Poisoning the well.
leadership
Yeah.
of the orphanage switched over to?
Leadership of the orphanage changed, the well poisoning,
Mhm,
Corin and Carolyn, Maribel, slum riot,
The hags.
Lark being burned. Yeah. Bad things.
The stars aligned.
Yeah.
The whole city kind of
Yes,
fell
they
apart
did,
back
Sam.
then.
Yes, they did.
How long were you being held in that place?
It's a phrase, John.
He said things.
What year is it currently?
8063 AR.
I have been held
That's really worrying.
Well, how quickly he.
Yeah, I couldn't even remember it. He'd asked me something about a Doris of like, how many years has X thing been going on? Like, how long was the Warforged chilling under the thing? And he was like, isn't it been like 4,000 years? And I was like, I had to go like look, and he's just like rattling off the exact year.
in the cathedral, I did not have a calendar with me, but I would assume somewhere around a year
That you were.
imprisoned. In the cathedral.
It is a long time.
Yes.
Imagine
very.
it felt longer in that space.
Yes.
What did they want with you? Because we've heard some rumors.
All of the rumors are true.
And then he eyebrow raised in my direction.
Yeah, he did. Rumors?
You know what I'm talking about.
We're there. We know.
Well, Isabel was not thrilled that I was no longer as close with her as I was. I went through some things and discovered her true colors, so to speak, and realized that was not something I wanted to be a part of, so I fled. And she was not happy about that, so when they found me, they took me. And imprisoned me. Like a monster trapped in a cage.
See, I once had a man tell me I would make an excellent poultice.
That's so.
That's correct. There was no weird,
Why do you sound proud?
I've been told I've
Just
been
so
making
you know,
drinks.
the dude I once had a dude tell me.
But
You're important for being trapped for a year, but
somebody wanted to drink this.
all I had to know I was ordered.
All aboard the Nesgrim tree.
there was no weird, eating rituals, anything like that.
Do I know of any weird eating rituals in my culture?
I would say yes. Not weird, but like.
Well, not cannibalistic.
Oh yeah, that's what I was getting at. Like you guys.
Not weird.
Yeah, like you guys would have known that there would have been like ritualistic kind of like prayer-like ceremonies in preparations for meals. Again, in the idea of like honoring the animals and stuff that you consumed, especially if you guys ever, on rare occasions, did have to like put one of the more powerful animals of the area like down if it was becoming either problematic, like a big bear. Like if it's a bear but it's like, oh, it's old or it's injured, it would be in honor of the spirit.
It's like an owlbear in this area. That's a big deal. That's a thing, but like
Correct.
we have to kill it because it's killing everything else.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
No weird eating rituals, nothing
no,
like that.
nobody's ever compared me to a poultist. No, I can't say that's.
Okay.
What about
eating
a bear?
rituals?
Did they have you eat anything? Did they eat?
It's a very personal
Did they
question.
eat things in front of you?
As this is going on, back in the rear's mind, don't eat, stop eating, no more
I
eating.
love that these are the first questions upon meeting you as a person. So my name's Nesgrim. You were in prison for a year. Did they make you eat weird things?
No, that's very relevant because Reard is like, I was in prison, they
This
sent
is
me
also
eggs.
risk assessment. He is at level fucking
he knows
red.
what he's doing.
This is some part your fault and some part DJ.
No, this is 100% John's fault. You teed this up.
Nesgrim's
Keep
over
asking
here
your
at threat level
questions. They're
midnight.
great.
He is ready.
While this is happening, I'm going to check all of the first floor entrances.
You mean like the windows and things?
The doors, the windows,
Okay.
and make sure that there's nothing open and everything is closed and locked
Sealed.
and
Yeah.
sealed.
Absolutely. I will tell you that they absolutely are.
Just while this questioning is...
This line of questioning is the equivalent of, who are you? Why do you have a sword? What are you doing here? Why are you have an armful of firewood?
This is not a meet and greet. This is not a meet and greet. This is a debriefing. Is what this is.
Did they ever eat
Is it a
things in
singles
front of
mingle?
you? Did they? Tell me!
Legally, you have to tell me.
Are you a guard?
Please!
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Did they ever eat things in front of you or make you eat weird stuff?
Have they ever eaten in front of me? Yes.
Well, that wasn't so much the question I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask if they had eaten any part of you, like.
When you say they, you have to be more
That is the
specific.
question I was getting at.
Do you mean like the other sisters?
Maybe the other sisters, maybe Cain, any of the like shadowy underground people.
I've just met you. This seems like a very intimate question.
Let me explain. I'll tell you why I'm asking.
You mean you're going to get to the point?
I came to Oshuamp because I was sent by someone close to me. They told me that information I was seeking I could find here. Later, I found out that what had actually happened was I had been sent here to be consumed. So I'm just trying to determine if
And
maybe
as you can see, he's not yet been consumed.
If you're asking if I'm going to eat you, I just like look you up and down. You're not really my type.
that again, not quite.
He gets that a lot.
That's a good read. I don't know if it's where he was going.
I stop hypnotizing her and I just go, ooh.
Every time.
How many? Do we have
I mean, the odds just, come on.
Statistically, one of them has to work out.
One of them was flirting with you and you ignored it, so.
Such a teacher.
Who?
The guard with the juggling.
Oh,
Not
She's
the
really
juggling.
good with balls, dude. Come on.
It wasn't the juggling guard, it was the jokes and the ghosts guard.
Oh yeah, the one that's
The juggling guard is mean.
That's yours. Yeah. That's right.
Really, what I'm trying to get at is I'm trying to determine if the party of people that were imprisoning you were the same ones that wanted to eat me.
They never mentioned the consumption of an old man, so no. I don't believe so.
But they ate others, right?
Did you ever see them eat prisoners?
I'll tell you what I did see. I saw a lot of torturing,
Okay.
a lot of violence,
Sure.
and a lot of bloodshed
Very sorry.
in the cell.
It's just the bitching extends to like, oh, sorry.
I didn't mean it. Please. Forgive me. I didn't think about what I was asking you.
No, I did not see them consuming much of anything other than the thrill of beating the ever-living daylights out of me. So no, I did not see them consume anybody.
I don't imagine they would have done it in front of you.
Hey, get a load of this guy.
Nesgrim, perhaps that line of questioning can wait for another time.
I'll have to think of how to explain myself better.
Look, I told Arthur, remember the time you showed me your downstairs?
And he did.
Yeah.
This group's about as subtle as a cinder block.
Anyway. Worked at the orphanage. Any other interesting tidbits about yourself you'd like to share?
Or should I just read my history sheet?
Is there anything we should know? Other than the people that we just rescued you from, is anyone after you?
I would assume a lot of people are after me. I've just escaped prison, and Isabel is not thrilled to know that I've turned my back on her. So
Is Isabel still alive?
I don't know. I've been in a prison for a year. I would assume so. She is very strong.
We thought she was gone, right?
You guys knew that she got pulled to the inner sanctum approximately 12,
Okay.
13 years ago, and that's why Sister Madeline took over the orphanage.
That's right. That's right.
She was to be thanked for her service to the city.
What do you know about Bloodstone?
Oh, I get it now. Oh, no. I get it now.
What do I know about Bloodstone?
Correct.
Oh, God.
If you would like me to refresh your memory, you would know that it is the gemstone of the patron saint Ostador of the city of Oshuamp, and it would have been explained to you during your time initially upon arriving in the city. It would have been something that Isabel also would have worn in the appearance of a ring.
Just as everyday attire?
Everyday attire.
Yeah, I've seen that. Isabel used to wear one.
Okay, right. Sister Madeline also wears one.
Sister Madeline?
Oh, right, you've been in prison for a year.
I mean, she's been there for much longer than that.
Correct. Madeline took over the orphanage 12 years ago.
Right.
She's been in prison for 1.
You do not... What?
Where
did you live when you...
Did you not work with Madeline?
Location.
Age, sex, location?
This is MySpace. No, I don't know Sister Madeline. I'm familiar with her. But
she would have recently been joining when
She was
things with
not.
you initially happened.
She was not the leader when I was there.
Yeah, she was like fresh, young, starry-eyed, like 16, 17-year-old pupil.
So,
That's right, she's a
if
rough
you didn't
30.
know that she took over...
A
after
real
Isabel,
rough 30, bro, trust me.
I am also 30.
In your
It would
wildest
make a lot of things
dreams.
make more sense, but you're not.
No, I've made it 50 some odd years
You
with
could have done that, but
this level of tact.
So, if you didn't know Madeline was taking over after Isabel was done, what were you doing for all that time in between?
There was a lot that I did in between. There was 12 years worth of life. What would we call it that?
Can you give us the highlights?
Spark notes.
Yeah, just run through the hits.
How did this happen?
I spent time with Isabel.
Okay, doing what?
Perhaps you'd be more comfortable if Nesgrim ran through his hits first.
No,
Nesgrim?
please.
He just starts pointing to spots on his body.
No, please. I've heard it too much. Please, no.
So,
No.
Our new friend is now.
No.
to start, I'm
No,
Nesgrim.
stop.
I'm fun.
I'm fun.
I feel like it's at this point you spin your chair around and sit on it backwards. Like, I'm real cool.
Galumla, why?
I was farm to table to the city. They, I may or may not have been involved in a slight murder.
you were involved in it.
Don't forget about the crying. Don't forget about the crying.
I've been killed twice.
What murder?
You were only killed once.
Oh, right, I was only killed once, you're right.
He
How is
died
that
one
slight?
The slight was his involvement because I was the one who did the murder.
Right.
I was there. I
Oh,
practically
no,
committed
he
it.
agreed to that. That's not murder. Technically.
Assisted suicide.
Sure.
Yes.
I've been known to cry in
Euthanasia.
basements.
You've done that twice now?
Twice, yes. Yep.
How about where you were born?
Oh, yes. I was born in Rarfley.
Means
Nothing.
nothing to you.
Not familiar with the area.
Grew up in Hryak.
Nothing to you.
Okay.
Yes, creepy skeleton wings.
And I'm great with dating.
Do the trick.
That one's true.
Do the trick.
Oh, no, we don't.
Are you sitting?
Are we in a room with chairs?
Yeah, you guys are in the
We're in the
large
back
hall.
Sure, yeah.
I pull my chair a little bit closer to yours and grab your hand. That's really interesting. Please tell me more.
With her weird long fingers.
Oh yeah, no. This was well prepared, buddy.
Can I fuck? Wait, hang on.
I'm gonna strength check that handheld. No!
I
Firstly,
can't tell if that's like the condescending teacher mode or if
divine sense on that. Because
Yeah.
no, not even you.
Me?
You
Okay.
creepily looking at me, even if your character wasn't. That was terrifying.
100% hitting on
Message
me.
you.
Okay, great.
Are you seducing me?
Go on. Nope, I'm listening. What you're saying is very important. Go on.
I don't want this to come out the wrong way.
That's okay. We're all
It's
listening.
going to.
No one's ever been this interested before.
I lightly place my hand on your shoulder. Have you been rejected by friends and loved ones in the past?
Not necessarily friends. I would say prospective romantic interests.
You faced a lot of... What's the word? Rejection in your life.
Yeah, no, I grew up in a community of people that were deemed, like, not safe to live around other people. So, like, from the start, I was rejected. Yeah, that's pretty fair.
How did that make you feel?
I was a kid.
Well, now you're not.
Yeah, now I'm a grown-ass man.
So
I'm
how
in
does
my
that-
50s, and I've been killed.
Wildlife Camp, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
Hey! So, I would assume that probably doesn't feel that nice. You're a nice gentleman
But
looking for acceptance.
once again, I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but I feel like we're focusing on me a whole lot here. My point...
Are you not used to being focused on? Your attention and the things that have gone on in your life are very important. Please tell me more.
Someone else want to take over? I don't know.
I'm enjoying this.
I don't know.
My fingers just dig a little bit.
Is it getting on
Tell me
here?
more.
I'm gonna pull my hand away.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey, Nesgrim,
those are my
think,
highlights. What are yours?
Oh, I've lived a very boring life. Please continue.
We just pulled you out of a hole in the ground.
Not much has happened since I've been down there.
What happened before you were down there?
It's a very long story. I don't wish to bore you. You guys seem... So you've had a very long day.
With all due respect, miss, we kind of risked our lives going into a prison to break you out. The least you could do is tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Nesgrim aside, he is who he is. But
Thank you.
some information would be nice.
I think what they mean to say is that our group, we are protective of each other. We look out for each other. If you are to become part of this group, we need to know your story
We need to
and
know.
what we are protecting.
Exactly.
Not that I don't enjoy watching him squirm from time to time. That's my guy. Like,
My God. My God. Wrong.
he kind of like helped me fight an owlbear, so that doesn't come lightly.
I was the bait.
What's up with the... I'm just gonna... How they... They clap? What do you mean they clap?
No! You did say you would love
You just see Felix go like...
Can we quote that?
I got it.
No, just I'll
man.
get my nails done for the next session.
Right.
What's up with the green?
He asked you first.
My nails have always been long. No,
It's your fingers though, right?
I'm wearing gloves.
I'm gonna scooch my chair closer to yours to make you feel uncomfortable now. Unflinching.
My nails. I was born this way. Everything about me, I was. How can you explain your 2 holes in your nose? How do you explain the 2 eyes on your face? It's how I was born. I cannot explain why my hands are the way they are, why I look the way I do. It's the way I was born.
Just got shrug.
Hmm?
So,
Like, are they like your mom's nails or dad's nails?
I don't know what my dad's nails look like. My mother, I think, had long nails.
so like, you know Carolyn.
Yes,
You know Corin.
I do.
Do you suffer the same affliction as them, or?
I don't understand.
I think what my friend Felix is asking is this a side effect of, and I'll point to like Corin and Carolyn, that.
I mean, Carolyn and Corin's hands aren't
Nope.
any different.
No, I mean, they both would have, like, slightly longer pointed black nails, but nothing like
Yeah,
ludicrous.
and it's like I have kind of pointy nails,
See
but
different
like
nail
mine
techs? No.
I must know your lady's name.
Yeah, I mean, Carolyn would absolutely say, like, we did undergo mild transformation as a result.
Can it be more serious than that?
I don't know. I mean, we knew her years ago when she first arrived in the city, and her hands were always... I mean, she had long fingers.
Where are you from?
Okay.
I grew up on the outskirts of Oshuamp. I lived with my mother and my aunt.
What were their names?
Where in the outskirts?
Would you like to know the name of the woods?
Yes.
The Feltwood.
There you go.
Oh, so we're basically neighbors.
Maybe. Have you heard of me?
Something wrong there?
Tom, not in character. No.
Like, no, I haven't heard of you, but I lived in the woods of Neverenter.
My mother and my aunt took care of me out there. My mother used to tell the tale that I was a lost princess, hence the name.
Is that what Theriel means?
Yes, it means little princess.
In
Oh,
what
I just got
language?
yelled at a lot.
That is so sad. I'm so sorry. As a child, you were yelled at?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything. All the kids got yelled at.
That is horrible. I'm sorry to hear that.
Save it for Nesgrim.
What?
He was lost in my eyes, I'm sorry.
Understand in your eyes tonight.
What language?
I believe my mother said it was Elvish.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give Ritora a look.
Does she seem like she really doesn't know?
What?
What the name?
Yes.
She
Yeah.
seems direct.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we're basically just going off your tonality, your voice, right? We can't really see your face at all.
Nope, not at all.
Is there a reason you obscure your face?
When I was with Isabel, I went through some things, and as part of said ritual I went through, it was part of said ritual to keep myself masked. And in being masked as long as I have been, I haven't taken off my shroud in a while.
Why? What happens if you do?
It is unbecoming to show your face before properly ready.
Isn't that just a statue to the construct of the church that was holding you hostage? Bingo.
Please, Glenn, this is the way.
I suppose I've...
What ritual? As a partaker in rituals myself.
As a ritualist myself.
Hey, we all love a good hut stuff.
I'm somewhat of a ritualist myself.
Yeah. I've been a part of several.
You want a dream walk? Let's go. I got a guy.
Good.
What was the question?
What ritual? What was the purpose?
Isabel wanted me to swear myself to her.
Okay. Your fealty? Like your loyalty to her?
More or less.
Okay. And what type of business was she doing that she needed loyalty?
Unfortunately, it wasn't known to me until the ritual had already started, but I undo the shroud. Pull back the shroud.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pale, brilliantly blue-eyed, white-haired woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to smile.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That seems to be the course, dealing with orphanage people.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm even more concerned about those kids now.
Oh, and I pull the straw back over. This was before. When I was with the children, it was strictly to protect them. I never.
But did you protect them out of, like, the kindness of your heart, or
Yes.
for another reason?
What other reason? Eat the children? No.
Not eat, just feast upon.
No feeding on the children.
Light
no.
tasting.
No, that is cruel and inhumane, and those poor children. No, absolutely not.
We're
never.
not asking you this accusatorily, of course.
We merely want to accuse your coworkers.
We're just merely accusing you of having done this. We just want to make sure it's a kid's meal.
It comes with a toy.
Oh no, Rick.
That's very good.
R.I.P.
10 out of 10.
That's it. You won.
We're more just trying to. I shouldn't speak for all of us. I'm more just trying.
It's about time.
I'm gonna reel it back to just me here. I'm just curious to know. People's stories are very interesting. Your past, your history holds a lot of value if you don't tell everybody, like I have done.
Nesgrim, you should write a book, actually.
No, I shouldn't.
The stories that you learned from people.
That I would actually enjoy. I'm curious to know what led you to our path. Aside from being a prisoner.
Trusting the wrong friends, falling in love with the wrong people, ending up in the wrong crowd, being sent to a prison.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That was very specific.
You were asking for specifics. So what specific?
It was
happened?
specific, yet still incredibly fucking vague.
I don't know you. Every time I trust somebody,
Right?
every time I think I can trust somebody, my trust has been betrayed. Excuse me. I appreciate you releasing me from the prison. Excuse me if I am a little hesitant.
I'm sure you've been told this in the past. That
You can trust us.
I'm not gaslighting you or anything, but you're crazy.
I'm not going to say that you can trust us. You can, but that's not the point I was going to make. We all trust each other. More so than we count on your trust in us.
That's
I
fair.
understand that may not be immediately apparent, given the stressful situations we've been in since rescuing you. But I literally trust all of the, maybe not the green one. I trust all of these people with my life.
That is
Both for Tora
a
and Ether.
very
I trust the
noble
green one.
act to be able to put that kind of trust into another's hands.
And I think they would all trust me with theirs.
In spirit.
I
Theoretically.
Theoretically, sure.
Trust your intention.
I hope that one day we become very good friends. I hope one day I will be able to build that trust with you all. I don't think that will happen anytime soon.
It's not something that needs to happen immediately, but I think it's best if we start on... I don't want to say equal footing. It's better if building that trust both ways would be easier once we know more about what brought you to us. because me personally, I've been attacked and almost killed.
You keep saying brought you to us. You found me. I never sought you out. What brought you to me? You have to understand, I'm very hesitant. I value Carolyn and Corin's opinion of you folk, and that is probably the only reason I have not fled yet.
It's understandable. That was just phrasing. I didn't mean it.
Do you believe in fate?
I believe if fate is true, it's got a very cruel sense of humor.
I would agree with that.
I think everyone here would agree with you. Not a single one of us has not gone a day without tragedy. Yet each tragedy brought us to where we are here.
Do I believe in fate? No. Because I believe that if fate does exist, it means that I have no chance of warping it. That if...
No, you control your future, yes.
Not if fate exists. If
no, it's not about what goes on next. It's about what has happened. What's brought you to this moment in time.
That it was predetermined.
No, that everything happens for a reason.
I don't necessarily think that's fate.
I don't think it is necessarily determined on what has come before, but the things that shape a person have an effect on how they are in the future. The things you drag behind you in the web that you walk tend to catch on things. You clearly have been through a traumatic experience, as have some of us. Yours perhaps more than most. That will weigh on your mind for a time, and it is understandable. We do not intend to push our trust or your trust onto us or onto you. It will come in time. I respect that you accept the word of Corin and Carolyn as gospel for the time being on our behalf, but I'd respect that it will take time.
He's much better with words than I am.
And pretty much everyone's better with words than I am.
That is true.
I'll speak to that.
What brought us to you was Carolyn. Well, after we went and found her, liberated her from her own friend group, she requested that we seek you out. She believed that you were in danger.
You saved Carolyn.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Mary Bell as well.
Yes.
We were hoping before some of us had run in with this Cain to continue in either liberating or, well, I suppose it would be liberating either way, the remainder of your sisters, Carolyn's sisters. I don't know how practical such an endeavor would be.
I can't see us continuing if he's seen us.
Do you think he would stop us?
Keep in mind I was once killed by a door.
That was a long time ago.
It was only
And you
like a
weren't
couple
killed.
weeks ago.
Damn it, I keep doing that. No, I wasn't. I was
literally
knocked
like a
down.
month. But yes, you were only
Not
not.
for nothing, it was a big fucking door.
I think Cain can try.
Do you think he would try?
It is hard to say what Cain would do. I've seen Cain do a lot of heinous things. Stopping a group of people for the greater good is not below him, in my opinion.
What is the greater good? Maybe not specific to you. What was everyone else held there for?
I do not know. They were so corrupt by the time I had gotten there, I could not speak to them.
Did you ever hear or see anything that might give some insight as to what corrupted them, aside from the beatings and being a prisoner?
Aside from that,
Footnotes, you know.
In terms of the other individuals that would have been within your vicinity inside of the imprisonment, I will tell you that the most prominent thing that would stand out to you is that people didn't last long. You consistently heard different voices from comparable areas which you would associate with. Yeah, they were maybe only here for a couple days before they were then taken away and replaced by other people.
it's hard to say what exactly their crimes were, so to speak. After being in prison for as long as I was, I began counting the days by the amount of influx of prisoners. So to say what led them to there, it was hard to say.
Do you think he's a man that can be reasoned with?
I think all man can be reasoned with.
Is he a man that should be reasoned with?
Who's to decide?
Well, I guess us.
I do not think Cain is a good man, so to speak. He's not a very pious man, in my opinion. But if you go along thinking people are inherently evil,
Sure.
what is to say that that is the only reason they do the things they do? You can stab a stranger and blame it on evilness and wickedness.
Right.
You can rob a person and say, oh, well, they were evil. Nobody is inherently evil.
I mean...
Why?
Unless they're literally evil incarnate.
Have you met said evil incarnate?
I've seen it.
Oof.
Shut up, Rita.
I'm just gonna point.
I'm a good boy.
I'm gonna point at Rearda.
No more devils. Good boy, no more devils.
I'll point over at Rearda. He's a piece of it.
We were also chased by a demon
Why?
for existing.
For trespassing.
No. We were not trespassing.
We were for sure trespassing.
That demon didn't belong there. The dwarves did.
Yes, and it was summoned by Balor, who did belong there.
Balor was not.
The
That was...
question of should was more about safety. The longevity of one's own life above another.
I have worked in an orphanage around many children, gone through many heinous things. And some of those children acted more cruelly than others. I do not think any of those children were evil incarnate. I was around people that were involved in rituals that did very heinous things to innocent people. I do not think they were evil incarnate. Until I see it for myself, I do not believe in evilness.
Had any of those children attempted to take the life of another child, would you not have stopped them?
Would have stopped them. I don't think that
And if they
an eye
had
for an eye is necessarily the right cause.
continued to do so,
What was that?
had they continued to do so despite being stopped repeatedly, would that not require a more permanent solution?
Possibly it had never come to that. I cannot say for sure. I think people are malleable enough if given the right resources. I do not think anyone is so set in stone that they cannot change.
I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you there.
Your experiences with children who are quite malleable.
I've also experienced with a lot of people gone through a lot of heinous acts.
What would you say about a man who...
Is this hypothetical?
This is for sure not
Sure.
hypothetical.
Hypothetical, yes.
Guy I know.
I know this guy, right?
I know
Friend
his
of
name
mine.
is,
Kresnik.
His name's Kesgrim.
His name is Kesgrim.
His name's Badrian.
Bay.
Bay.
We'll call him Bay for short.
What would you say about a man who trapped two others in a basement in a magic...
Hypothetical.
In a magic circle, refused to allow them to leave until they killed him,
Why did he wish to be killed?
to bring about an evil into the world?
Spread disease.
Bring about evil incarnate.
Would that man be redeemable?
It is hard to say definitively yes or no, because I do not know this man. I do not know what the evil incarnate was, and I do not know why he trapped said people.
It was the rotting one.
I'm gonna point to Ratora's hand when he says that.
You got that?
I've seen it. Perhaps it's not evil incarnate, but it needs to be stopped regardless.
I do not disagree with that. If something is causing heinous crimes and destruction, I believe things need to be stopped. However, I'm a firm believer in people acting on reason, even if the reason is not apparent to us.
Not all people act with reason.
I think what she is saying that they have reasons.
Huh?
That's not cool.
I believe what she is saying is that they have reasons. Whether or not those reasons are
Apparent to us.
in alignment with your standard for morality may or may not be the case. But reasons, nonetheless.
They may have some justification for what they were doing. That doesn't mean it was good or bad.
That is fair.
I don't see any justification for slaughtering an entire village of people.
Or for infecting my mom with the rot while she was pregnant. With me.
Or for making a deal over the soul of a young child.
People do things for reasons. These are the ways that in which, similarly to Thuriel, it seems that I judge people and make my decisions. Granted, when I make these choices, I am given very little information. When people have passed and I do not have all of the knowledge, I admit that my decisions are at best impartial. But she is correct that people generally do things for a reason, whether they be fanatical or not, noble or not. There are reasons for things. Rarely does evil exist purely for the sake of being evil.
Sure, I understand no one... Even the people that are the most evil don't see themselves that way because it's subjective.
Yes,
that is a
they
title.
have a motivation, an ultimate goal that they strive to work towards.
Right, and good and evil is a virtue bestowed upon them,
Yes.
not something inherent. I understand.
Granted, what Adrian did to the two of you, I would not quantify as a good thing.
No, it was definitely evil. And then Baylor
Technically
was...
did it to him, but
But we do not know what his motivations were. What was happening to you was happening to Adrian. What led him down that path to become that way?
Sure.
Adrian may be so, but there is no way that you can change my mind as to why someone would do that to my brother.
I understand.
That did not come from any place of good.
Perhaps they are protecting something or someone.
From their point of view, it may have been the right thing to do. It doesn't mean
Genocide
it was.
is never the right answer.
I think man is very prone to wickedness and cruelness, and while I do not condone the wicked and cruelness that they do, I also can understand that a mind is malleable and that people can be convinced otherwise. Let me ask you, you vegetarian?
No.
I'm sure if you asked the cows that were slaughtered on the farm that you eat the food from, they would say the same thing about you, that you are cruel and wicked and slay their brethren.
I don't eat cows from farms.
What do you eat?
Deers in the woods.
Oh, okay, so I'm sure the deer in the wood think that you slaughtering their brother for just being alive is okay.
I would like to speak
Well.
as a human who was ordered to be slaughtered.
Yes. I would like to speak as said cow, please.
As cattle.
I would like
Moo.
to speak for that cow. They
Moo.
do.
I mean, I'm not, what happened to your brother is a sin. What happened to myself is a sin that I don't believe I deserved the treatment I got, or the curse bestowed upon me.
I don't believe that that's the case either.
But
what I'm saying is yes, there are some things that are on the fence evil. There are things that are on the fence of good. I don't think your problem is with man or orc or whoever ordered that. Sorry, bud.
Hello.
I thought it was Arthur.
I do think.
I think it's with mortality.
I think the question Yalumla was getting after was, is it safe for us to attempt to reason with Cain? Am I right on that?
There will come a time, should you decide you want to journey with us, that all of us, including yourself, will have to make decisions. And those decisions may not have time for reasoning.
I'll get it later.
Well,
Someone such as Cain, it might be best to decide before attempting whether or not that attempt would be met with hostility or a receptive disposition.
I was forced to turn into a monster against my will. I will not become the monster in which they tried to turn me into. If you ask me to kill a man for the sake of retribution, no.
What about for protection?
What about for saving the people down there?
Kill one to save more.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I can speak as someone who's been attacked by people from the Inner Sanctum.
Mm-hmm.
As I imagine you can as well, given your imprisonment.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about them.
He won, by the way.
That's the one he actually lost.
No, yeah, I got punched in the throat and died.
They've not made a habit of leaving much choice.
They don't. We did not have an opportunity to reason with the brothers that killed me. I would not be here if not for Corin.
Damn it.
And for Tora. And for Tora and Ether.
Eternal reminder. The sin.
I'm not eternal, don't worry. The reminder will die eventually.
Yes, you are.
What?
What?
Fucking excuse me?
What?
Did you just say I was eternal?
Aren't you?
No. I don't think. I've died. No.
You haven't died since then, to be fair.
Yes.
I think he learned his lesson about dying. It's
I
kind
don't
of
think-
bad.
I don't think he did, though.
Aren't you something strange?
Yes, but not.
Something spiritual within you?
Yes, it's correct. But
Isn't that why you were ordered?
I did die. So I'm not immortal. Unless you made me into a vampire.
No, I think whatever spirit is in you is eternal.
Oh, that I could probably. We've talked about that, I think, Corin.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was a fun memory game you just played.
That tracks, yes.
Yes.
If you're asking if I'm innocent, I'm not an innocent person. I'm not a good person by any means. I have killed, and I will kill again.
As have we.
Right
Vindication! Let's party!
As have we, and as will we.
The point that I make.
Cowabunga it is!
Cowabunga it is. The point that I make is with each person that I am approached with, try to become a better person. If I must kill, if that is the only option, I will do what must be done to protect my friends and loved ones. If you ask me to kill for that...
No, that's what we're asking. Is are we able to reason with Cain, or will he just kill us?
I think we should hit him hard and fast.
Do we need to hit him hard and fast, or can we attempt to have a conversation with him?
If the conversation results in a cell and beatings, and perhaps no way of rescue, then perhaps the conversation should be foregone. That is all that I was asking. You should know better than the rest of us.
If there is no other option, yes.
Were you given another option?
Is there another option?
Would he leave us one?
There is always another option.
I assume you didn't like the option you were given.
Of course not. I am not Cain. I will not become a person like Cain.
Something to consider before opening such a dialogue.
Would Cain kill Cain?
Yes, but I am not Cain.
I don't think he would kill himself.
I think a better question is what Arthur.
What would Arthur Hartwood do?
Hey!
Oh, hello!
My bags are packed.
He would
My guns
flee.
are ready. What are we doing?
He would flee
Flee?
to protect your family.
Oh, yeah, no. Benny's not ready to fight yet. He's got a couple more years. Don't you, buddy? He's a little Benjamin. Like,
Does he have a gun?
Yeah, 100%. Little
He's
Benjamin's
just sitting
got
there
a little
like-
toy cannon.
Don't you fucking dare.
You have a very handsome son.
Arthur, are you suggesting that you're going to train Benjamin
What?
to fight?
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
He's got to be ready to protect himself. That's why he's got guns.
That sounds...
He's ready! Woo!
That sounds...
It's a load off my weight.
sounds unfortunately familiar.
For what?
My life.
Your life sounds unfortunate?
Yes.
Why don't you tell that one
Oh
about?
no,
No,
they do.
I'm saying that
They do.
your plan for
What about my plan?
is familiar because it's...
I don't have a familiar, I have a son. He's a good boy. Not you, Benny. He's still 100% threading it right between your eyes. He's a good shot.
What was our last interaction with him? Was that with the
He
bones?
said to shoot him.
Was that with the bones?
It's
Yeah,
fake
when
gun.
Ether
It's
tried
toy
to give
gun.
him a knife.
It has a little
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, I'm gonna fall on the ground.
Just as bang.
Oh, good shot, Benny. Right between the eyes. He's dead.
He's dead.
He's dead.
I would have to agree after hearing Nesgrim's story.
About Sadgrim.
Yes.
That's his name.
That Benjamin's story follows very much the same lines as Nesgrim's.
Right?
Weird.
He's
That
even...
is an interesting parallel.
It's almost like that's intentional. It's called writing.
This is called the fourth wall.
You're a good boy, Nesgrim.
Only Arthur.
I mean, Benjamin.
I mean, Benjamin.
Arthur, do you want him to fight or do you want him to protect? Like, defend.
Well,
Do you want him to take care of himself or others?
it's a good question. I think that's for Benjamin to decide when he's older. I want to make sure that Benjamin knows right from wrong, you know?
Make sure he
Like
knows.
shooting Nesgrim. That one's right. Definitely do that one.
Make sure
Here's
he-
the real guy.
Don't worry, he can't use it.
Yes, he can't.
He
Make
can't?
sure he knows that
No,
he has that
they're
option.
bound to my soul.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was.
No, that's why he's got fake guns for now. Someday they'll pass from me to him.
Fake guns with real bullets.
Mhm.
Just.
And the Heartwood line will continue. It's always a Heartwood in Oshuamp.
Just make sure that Benjamin knows that he has that choice.
Oh, yes.
Could I see one of your guns?
You can look at it, it won't fire. Like I said, it's bound to my soul.
Can I try?
To shoot my soul?
Yikes.
Yeah,
Oh, I can see
sure.
the
You
bullets.
said when you'll be able to pass these down to Benjamin.
Yes,
And then he'll be able to use them.
yes.
So I'm just curious. I'm gonna point it at the floor and try to shoot the gun.
Yeah, I mean, he hands you a little blam, and you pull the trigger, nothing happens.
Never mind, thank you.
See?
That's all.
Dad?
I'm not your father.
I know you're not my father.
You're older than me. By several years.
I'm aware.
Unless.
Several decades.
I
Even.
was just curious if maybe the
I'm
bloodlines
dead.
crossed at some point.
No, that's why he hands the little blammer to, Benjamin, who looks at you. Nothing happens. It's still my soul.
Sure.
Someday that soul will, I guess you could say, rebond with Benjamin.
It's a very sad story.
As part of me will pass on to Benjamin,
Mm-hmm.
and thus the Heartwood line will continue. In protection. Predominantly. Some things, though, need to be hunted and killed. Some things escape and take terrible trinkets out with them into the forest, and we have to shoot them. And reclaim the trinkets.
Trinkets?
Yes. That was the business of my Uncle William. Supposed to be my father's business, but he had other things to attend to. So William took that role.
How old is Ben?
How old is Benjamin?
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin is approximately 8 years old. So, I mean, he's definitely verbal, communicative. You know, he's insightful.
What did it mean? Said white bone.
He would 100% do that again.
Right now?
When he, like, lowers the gun, would have just... White bone guy.
What do you mean by that?
He knew.
I do have white bones in me, yes. We all have white bones in us.
And out of you.
Alright, now you're getting...
I can see.
Can you?
Mm-hmm.
What can you see?
I can see what you really are.
I'm gonna approach Benjamin
Hey,
and try and
what's going on, buddy?
look
Look
at
at you,
his
little shit.
eyes.
He picks up the gun again.
As I kind of tilt back and forth,
Uh-huh.
do I see
Yeah,
something reminiscent of...
Of Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Aether's celestial eye?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit.
I will tell you, it is in both eyes.
It's in both eyes.
Mm-hmm.
No
But yeah,
wonder
no,
this
you
kid's
just kind of like,
horrified all the time.
yes.
Wouldn't be the first time I took an eye in a campaign.
Right? Yes. It would be as you were as you were very close to him and kind of tilted, it would be gradient, but yes, prismatic.
I'll just smile at him.
You're a nice man.
Benjamin, what do you think of our...
You're not.
Yikes.
I can't argue with that.
He's
That's
trying
fine.
to be.
What do you think of our new friend?
Which one?
Sariel.
Which one? We're gonna end there.
Oh god.
Oh, why did I ask that?
Oh, I knew I should. As soon as you said
Bam.
"I'll kill again," I should have started blasting.
I've killed it! I'll kill again!
I knew it.
It's been nice having you in the game.
Bye.
What did you
love the
realize?
pain and-
What did you realize?
What?
Something.
I saw it. I saw the
Yeah.
revelation.
Oh,
Did he
that's
do
fine.
DJ
I
face?
can't talk about it on stream. I'll talk about it after. Everybody, thank you very much for being here tonight. Wildlife Cam, thank you for the sub and the 5 gifted subs.
Thank you.
We appreciate it immensely. We'll be back on Friday for the Lost Kings of Adoris, and then we'll see you again next Monday for whatever the fuck's going on. Good night.